Most people know a cycling wheel can be out of true, but did you also know a cycling wheel can be out of balance? If you've ever experienced a shake in your bike at high speed, your wheel may be out of balance, just like this one. In this video, we're going to talk about what causes a wheel to be unbalanced and how you can fix it. A cycling wheel goes out of balance because there's an uneven distribution of the weight around the rim. Most people think that a rim has the same mass all the way around, but that's not true. For starters, there's a hole drilled here where the valve goes through, and then what happens is you install a valve like this one, which has mass in it. So if you look at this wheel that's unbalanced, wherever the valve stem is, it wants to settle in that area. The deeper the wheel, the more extreme that gets. So that's why a lot of people experience more shaking or more what they call speed wobbles on a bike with a deeper wheel because they have a larger valve stem in this area. Even if your wheel is out of balance, you may never know it because you may never hit a speed that's high enough in order to experience it. However, when you do experience it, it's something that can be pretty terrifying and you want to fix that as quick as possible. So let's talk about how we can fix that. In order to fix a wheel from being out of balance, we need to add mass to the opposite side of the valve stem. If you've ever seen a car tire being balanced, they put these little weights along the rim that balances a car tire, and it's basically the same thing we're going to do here. The way we do it at Flow is we use a product called Loctite. It's a Fun Tack, and we stick little pieces of Fun Tack opposite the low spot. So in this case, it is where the valve stem is, and we break off little pieces and put it on this opposite side. When the wheel's in balance, what will happen is you'll see that the rim will settle anywhere. It doesn't always settle down at this low spot. Once you've added the right amount of Fun Tack to have the wheel balanced, we take the Fun Tack off, and then we weigh it on a scale to figure out what it weighs. We want a better solution than Fun Tack on the outside of your wheel, so we use a product which is called a golf weight. You can find these all over the place. Amazon has them. It's got an adhesive back, it's made out of lead, and then we weigh the Fun Tack, and then we figure out how many of these we need. These are typically in about 1 gram sizes, and so then you place it inside the rim on a bare rim, no rim strips or anything like that, and then you balance them out. One thing that you'll notice is that there are really 2 types of wheels. You're going to have a tubeless setup, or you're going to have a tubed and tire setup. For tubeless, we assume that the tire is essentially uniform all the way around. We take the rim strip off and we put the bare valve in. On a tubed wheel though, like this one here, what we like to do is we put the tube and tire on because the tube is going to have an impact on it as well. And then you can mark a section here somewhere with chalk so you know where your tire is, and you can balance it with the tire on. But in our case, we're going to start with the tubeless example. All right, let's start with some Fun Tack. Pull some of this off. Do a ball, and you can stick it sort of right here is the valve stem, so we'll go 180 degrees opposite of that, and we'll put it up as close to the rim surface as we can because that's kind of where our weights are going to be. So we'll stick that clump on there and we'll just let this go, and we still see that it's better, but we still need more weight. We're still balancing out at that valve stem. All right, we're going to keep adding pieces to this until we get it balanced out. All right, so we have successfully balanced the wheel. You can see right now that it's stopped right at like 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. And if I spin the wheel, what happens is there's no spot that it really wants to settle at. So this will really just keep spinning for a very long time. And what it does is at a high speed, it takes away all that shake and that vibration from the bike. So next step is we need to take this Fun Tack off, which I'm gonna pull off now. And then what we want to do is we want to throw it on our scale. Let's see what this weighs. I'll measure this out in grams. Take that whole chunk, put it on, and we are showing 13 grams. I don't know if you can see it on the scale here. 13 grams of Fun Tack that we added. So that means we need to take these and weigh these out. So these are in about 1 gram increments. Actually 3 grams, 2. Let me add a few of these on here. Remember, we're going to have a backer on them as well. So we're going to put 4. We have 5 of them on the scale. And so what you can do is, once you want to get to that perfect weight, is you can cut them like they're made of lead. They just cut very easily with scissors. So we know we're going to have 5. So what we'll do is we'll start with 1 directly opposite, and then we'll move them out along that arc. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, you can see what we're doing here. These are the golf weights. Now this is on a bare rim. You see the spoke holes are there, you can see them. And we're just placing these 100% opposite that valve stem. You can see our valve stem is right down here. So we place the first one in the middle. In our case, we needed 5 of these, about the 15 grams. And then you just go opposite this way. You can cover the spoke holes, that's totally fine. We like to put them on the bare rim so that you cover it with your rim strip or your tubeless tape, whatever you're using. So there you have it. You now have a fully balanced cycling wheel that will be smooth at any speed that you can throw at it. In our case, we measured 13 grams on this fun tack, and we ended up adding about 15 grams of weights. And the reason for that is because as you add the weight and you move it away from that center, you need to add a little bit more weight to make sure that everything is in balance. In this case, on a tubeless wheel, you go ahead, you put your tubeless tape on right over the weights, you install your tire, put your sealant in, and you're good to go. If this were a tubed wheel, you would put your rims tape or strip or whatever you want to put on over those weights. You then put your tube on and tire, and you're good to go. You have a fully balanced cycling wheel ready for action. We hope you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe below. And if you have any questions or comments, please add them and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.